Story number 1: The Radiostatic Symphony. The relentless rain hammered against the cabin roof, a rhythm that had lulled Maya into a false sense of security. Nestled deep in the Alaskan wilderness, the cabin was her refuge, a place to escape the noise of the city and focus on her writing. But tonight, the rain seemed different, its insistent drumming carrying a strange undercurrent of unease. As the storm raged outside, a different kind of storm brewed within the cabin. The radio, usually a source of comfort with its crackle and faint signal from distant stations, began to act strangely. The static, a familiar background hiss, morphed into a symphony of distorted voices. At first, it was just whispers, fleeting and indistinguishable. Maya brushed it off, attributing it to the worsening weather. But then, the whispers coalesced into words, fragments of frantic pleas. A woman's voice, heavy with fear, cried out, "Help us. The ice. It's taking us." The hair on Maya's arm stood on end. The whispers grew stronger, pleading, desperate, followed by an ear-splitting shriek that cut through the static. Panic gnawed at Maya. Who were these voices? What ice were they talking about? Then, a chilling realization struck her. Legends spoke of a frozen lake near the cabin, a place where a group of miners had mysteriously vanished decades ago. Could their voices, trapped in the icy depths, be filtering through the storm, pleading for help from beyond the grave? The rain subsided to a steady drizzle, but the radio static continued its morbid symphony. Now, amidst the whispers, she heard a different sound, a rhythmic tapping, like someone hammering from inside the walls. Fear turned to terror. Was there someone, or something, trapped inside the cabin with her? Grabbing a flashlight, Maya nervously checked the boarded-up windows and locked doors. There was no sign of forced entry. The tapping continued, growing louder, seemingly emanating from behind the old fireplace. Armed with a poker, Maya cautiously approached. With a deep breath, she thrust the poker into the gap between the bricks. A deafening crash followed. A wall panel crumbled away, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside, a dusty metal box lay nestled amongst cobwebs. Trembling hands fumbled with the rusted lock, and with a groan, the lid creaked open. Inside, a stack of faded photographs lay stacked. They depicted the group of missing miners, faces etched with fear, standing on the frozen lake. And beneath the photographs, a small, water-damaged journal. With shaking hands, Maya flipped through the yellowed pages. They detailed the miners' journey, their discovery of a hidden gold vein under the ice. But then, the entries turned frantic, scribbled in a hurried hand. The ice had cracked, the water rising. Their pleas for help were a chilling echo of the voices on the radio. The journal fell from Maya's grasp, the weight of the tragedy settling on her like a shroud. She was not alone in the cabin. The storm had unearthed not just the miners' voices, but their final story, a testament to their desperate last moments. As dawn broke, casting a pale light on the cabin, a strange sense of peace settled over Maya. The radio was silent, the tapping gone. The storm had passed, leaving behind a chilling reminder of the secrets that sometimes lie hidden within the walls of even the most remote havens. Story number 2: The Weeping Window. The downpour was relentless, a curtain of silver sheeting the cobblestone streets of Edinburgh. Inside a quaint bookstore, Amelia, the owner, nestled deeper into her favorite armchair, the rhythmic drumming of the rain strangely soothing. She was reading a dusty historical account of a local legend, the Weeping Window. The story spoke of a young woman named Mary, falsely accused of witchcraft, imprisoned in a tower overlooking the city. Her spirit, according to the legend, still resided there, expressing her enduring sorrow through tears that manifested on a specific window pane. Amelia scoffed. Local folklore was charming, but she was a woman of logic, more concerned with the first edition Jane Austen novel she'd just acquired than a ghost story. Still, as the night deepened and the wind howled, the rain's rhythmic tapping morphed into a distinct, rhythmic thud. It seemed to originate from the back of the store, where a small section housed antiquarian oddities. Curiosity piqued, Amelia grabbed a flashlight, its beam cutting through the gloom as she crept towards the source of the sound. The thudding came from a boarded-up window, the wood warped and damp. A faint mist clung to the glass, and as Amelia got closer, she gasped. There, on the pane, were droplets, glistening like tears in the dim light. Suddenly, a gust of wind slammed a nearby shutter, plunging the room into darkness. Amelia fumbled for her phone, its weak flashlight revealing a chilling sight, a spectral figure pressed against the window, its face contorted in anguish. A scream tore from Amelia's throat, echoing through the silent bookstore. When she blinked back tears, the figure was gone, leaving just the damp window and an oppressive silence. Fear gnawed at her, but curiosity soon returned. Was it just a trick of the light and shadows? The next morning, Amelia, shaken but determined, researched Mary's story. She discovered the tower, now a crumbling ruin, stood on the outskirts of the city. With a mixture of trepidation and resolve, she made the journey. Under the bleak drizzle, Amelia explored the ruins. Vines snaked around the crumbling stones, and an eerie quiet hung in the air. Then, she saw it, a boarded-up window, the wood weathered and damp. It was identical to the one in the bookstore. Hesitantly, Amelia pried open a sliver of the wood. A faint breeze carrying a salty scent blew through the gap. There, on the dusty pane inside, were droplets of water, glistening like tears. A sense of overwhelming sadness washed over Amelia. This wasn't a haunting, but a testament to a tragic injustice. As she stood there, a newfound appreciation for Mary's story filled her. Returning to the bookstore, Amelia contacted a local historian, a woman named Ms. Campbell. Ms. Campbell was intrigued and shared a forgotten document, a transcript of Mary's trial, revealing she was a skilled herbalist, her knowledge mistaken for witchcraft due to prejudice. Armed with new information, Amelia and Ms. Campbell petitioned the city council. The story of the weeping window gained notoriety, sparking public interest. With the help of a groundswell of public support, the council agreed to fund a restoration of the tower, transforming it into a memorial for Mary and a symbol against injustice. The rain continued to fall at times, a reminder of the night Amelia confronted the ghost. The bookstore window remained unboarded, a testament to a story unearthed. While Amelia never again saw the spectral figure, the droplets of moisture on the windowpane held a different meaning now, not a symbol of sorrow, but a reminder of the power of truth and the enduring spirit of Mary, the woman who wept from a window. Story number 3: The Whispering Attic. The storm raged outside the lighthouse, a symphony of wind and rain that rattled the old structure. Inside, Sarah, the lone keeper, hunkered down in the cramped living quarters, her only companions the flickering oil lamp and the rhythmic groan of the foghorn. She had always loved the solitude of her post, the vast expanse of the ocean a constant source of serenity. But tonight, the storm cast an unsettling shadow, whispering secrets through the howling wind. As the night deepened, a new sound emerged, a faint scratching noise coming from the attic, a space Sarah had never dared to explore. The lighthouse was a relic, built in the 1800s, and rumors swirled about a tragic event that had occurred there long ago. A young sailor, they said, had been driven mad by the isolation and the relentless sound of the waves, eventually taking his own life within the confines of the attic. The scratching grew more insistent, a relentless tick-tock against the backdrop of the storm. Curiosity warred with fear in Sarah's mind. Finally, fueled by a sense of responsibility, she grabbed a lantern and climbed the rickety stairs to the attic hatch. Pushing it open, she was assaulted by a wave of stale air and dust motes dancing in the lantern light. The attic was a maze of cobwebs and forgotten nautical equipment. The scratching seemed to be coming from behind a large, ornately carved chest in the corner. With a deep breath, Sarah approached the chest and cautiously lifted the lid. Inside, nestled amongst moth-eaten clothes and yellowed letters, lay a weathered journal. As she opened it, the faint scent of salt water and despair filled her nostrils. The journal belonged to the young sailor, Thomas. His entries spoke of his loneliness, his growing fear of the relentless ocean, and the ever-present sound of the foghorn. He described his descent into madness, his fear morphing into paranoia, the sound of the foghorn morphing into whispers and taunts. A shiver ran down Sarah's spine. The scratching she heard, was it just the wind, or a manifestation of Thomas' tormented spirit trapped within the confines of the attic? Determined to help, Sarah continued reading. In the final entry, Thomas mentioned a hidden compartment within the lighthouse, a place where he planned to escape the relentless sound. Hope flickered in Sarah's chest. Maybe there was a way to finally set Thomas' spirit free. Following Thomas' cryptic clues, she scoured the lighthouse, finally discovering the hidden compartment behind a loose brick in the wall. Inside, she found a small, rusted music box. Tentatively, she wound it up, and a melancholic tune filled the air, a melody that seemed to resonate with the very walls of the lighthouse. The scratching ceased. A wave of peace washed over Sarah, a sense that Thomas' spirit had finally found solace. The storm outside began to subside, the wind calming, the rain easing to a gentle patter. The next morning, the sun peeked through the clouds, casting a golden glow on the lighthouse. Sarah stood on the balcony, the salty breeze carrying a sense of renewal. She knew the legend of the whispering attic would persist, but it would now be a story of compassion, a reminder of the importance of empathy and the power of facing our fears. The lighthouse continued to stand guard, its foghorn a steady rhythm against the vast ocean. But for Sarah, the sound now held a different meaning, a reminder of a troubled soul finally at peace, and the whispers that led her to bring solace to the restless spirit within.